Hello and welcome to New Mexico Rising. My name is Dan. You know, each and every week I try to bring you celebrities and cool people from all across the country to talk about things that you could do right here in New Mexico. That's why it's called New Mexico Rising. Hey, if you ever want to be part of the show, all you got to do is email me. It's newmexicorising@gmail.com. That email again is newmexicorising@gmail.com, and send me a quick email about your business, an event that you have going on. If you just want to say hi to a friend, by all means, you could just email me and I'll put that right here on our show. We'll just chat, okay? It's a very easy show to get onto because, yeah, I guess I'll bring anybody on. It's kind of fun. And on this week's show, yes, it's Father's Day this weekend. So I got some Father's Day ideas for last minute gifts. Plus, are you a cat fan like me? I got some tips and tricks from a cat expert talking about how to make your little feline friends a little fun-ier. I was trying to find some alliteration there, it wasn't working. My brain did not work that quickly, but that's okay. It's all gonna happen today and more, all on New Mexico Rising. Corporate philanthropy gives companies a sense of purpose beyond profit. It strengthens connections to communities and builds morale. Many companies are taking notice and corporate philanthropy is booming. Charitable contributions by U.S. companies increased 23.8% between 2020 and 2021. Kia is one of the companies dedicating time and resources to charity. Since 2019, the company's Accelerate the Good charitable program has significantly contributed to local and national charities. And we have, talking to us today, is James Bell to let us know how Kia plans to expand the Accelerate the Good program. Welcome to the show, James. How are you?
Oh, it's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on. I love talking about cars, but this is much more important, as you just said.
So why is corporate giving so crucial for companies to grow and build morale?
I kind of think there's three levels to it. First one is pretty obvious. It's the right thing to do. We as employees are living and working and raising our families in the communities here all across the country. So it's all about reinvesting to make sure that everybody has the opportunities to make those communities stronger, to make them more vibrant and give everybody a great chance of success. The other side of it is consumers today are very attuned to this, especially younger buyers. They may be considering a new car like the CV6 over my shoulder, but before they go test drive, they want to do a little checklist and see what these companies are doing from a corporate perspective, especially something as, a long-term investment like a vehicle from a cost and time perspective. They want to make sure that the company matches their philosophy. And then lastly, employees love it. Study after study has shown that if a company is engaged in their local communities, as you said, putting principles over profit, that makes a point of pride.
So how is Kia giving back with the Accelerate the Good campaign?
We're actually doing what's called a dealer match program. So every dollar that corporate puts in, our dealers are reciprocating and doing the same. So in this latest wave, we've donated to different charities of all different natures, close to $4 million, which is all ramped up to a $22 million investment that the entire Accelerate the Good program has done. So again, it's working with our local dealers and making sure that we are making the best impact in their local communities.
So what are some of the charities that Kia is donating to?
We reached out to St. Jude's Children's Research Hospital. They're obviously working on childhood cancer and other, devastating diseases on the childhood front. That's been a great partnership. For those young adults that maybe have stepped off the trail trying to get back on track, we're also working with Covenant House and the great work that they do. And then lastly, this is a big country. Inevitably, we have different natural disasters, earthquakes, floods, fires, etc. And so we are always ready to help the American Red Cross, to help every community and every person in those communities get back on their feet.
Well, thank you very much, man. I'm actually looking for a new car. Maybe I loved my Kia Soul, so I might need to go down to Kia because I have all the good things that you guys are doing.
Well, hey, and you know a guy, give me a call.
I would love it. I would put in a good word for me.
Will do.
Where can we go for more information, my friend?
Oh, that's easy. Please go to kia.com. We have a special section there all about Accelerate the Good program. And then also go down and visit your local dealer, especially if you're in the market like you might be, not only to see the cool new vehicles, but also to find out how they're investing in the local community and maybe ways you can help.
Well, thank you very much for joining me this morning then.
My pleasure. Thank you.
As of January 2022, there are estimated to be about 18.1 million cancer survivors in the United States. And that pretty much represents approximately 5.4% of the population, just about 5% of the population. ACS has also reported the risk of dying from cancer in the United States has decreased over the past 28 years. And according to annual statistics, the cancer death rates for men and women combined fell 32% from its peak in 1991 to 2019. That's good news. As June marks National Cancer Survivor Month, it's a time to celebrate and acknowledge that life after a cancer diagnosis is a reality for over 18 million Americans. And today we're talking with Caroline Yost, who was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2018. And she's here with her powerful story about surviving cancer and how genetic testing benefited her and helped safeguard her family's future. Welcome to the show, Caroline. How are you?
Thank you so much for having me. I'm awesome.
All right. Can you share your journey as a breast cancer survivor?
Absolutely. So I was really diligent with preventative cancer screenings since my mom was diagnosed with breast cancer in 2006. And like you said, in 2018, I had my annual breast exam with my breast specialist, and they did discover a mass. So she actually did a biopsy while I was in the office. And she recommended that I do genetic testing with Invitae to shed light on any insights into my inherited risks. It ended up informing my entire cancer journey. And as a survivor, I've turned my patient story into a passion by actually joining the company that makes the genetic test that I took.
And can you tell us about that genetic testing and how it impacted your entire cancer journey and helped you out early?
Yeah, absolutely. So my doctor recommended that I do the STAT or FAST test to find out if I had any of what she calls the scary gene variants, like BRCA1 or 2 that we're so familiar with. But she's told me that I could expand that test to cover different dozens of different variants. And at first, I wasn't so sure I wanted to know. That was kind of scary. But my husband and I talked about it a lot, and I decided that knowledge would empower me to make decisions about my care moving forward if I did discover that I had a gene variant.
So what advice do you have for people that are considering that genetic testing?
Personally, I think that everyone should have genetic testing done as part of their medical record. I hope that one day that's a reality, because with cancer, it's preventing it or catching it early. And whether you have cancer or you just want to know your risks, one thing you can do is to get a medical genetic test done, like the one I took from Invitae. My genetic test changed my life. It might change yours too. They do family variant testing too. So if you have a gene variant that's positive, they'll also test your family, your children, your blood relatives. My children, thankfully, were negative on my gene variant, but it's empowering to have that knowledge. And I just felt more control over my health journey.
Gotcha. Where can people go for more information and learning about this testing?
Yep. Just go to the website, invitae.com, invitae.com. And I just encourage everybody to talk to their doctors about genetic testing.
Well, thank you very much, Caroline, for joining us this morning. And hopefully a couple of people out there start going out for that genetic testing just to make sure things are good and safe in their life.
Thank you for having me.
Coming up a little later, we talk about candy. Yes, candy. And they found out what the #1 candy is of the year. We're going to talk about that. Plus, Father's Day gifts and suggestions to help out your cat. All right, here on New Mexico Rising. As we celebrate the 50th anniversary of World Environment Day, we discovered that more and more U.S. adults agree on the importance of sustainable solutions, especially when it comes to renewable energy. In fact, a whopping 67% believe it's crucial to reduce our environmental footprint, and 30% won't buy products without sustainable packaging. So to find out what companies are doing about making their products and packaging better for our environment, let's just ask them. So today we went to the top, and I have Jayshree Seth, the corporate scientist and chief scientist advocate at 3M, here to talk about some of the things 3M are doing. Welcome to the show, Jayshree. How are you?
Good. Thanks for having me, Dan. Creating a more sustainable environment takes collective participation, and everyone's contribution matters. Individuals, organizations, businesses, government, and we all should be involved to drive change. As you mentioned, people won't buy products unless they have sustainable packaging. So consumers do care about the choices they make and the impact their choices have on the environment. So what can we do as consumers? Well, I think we can be more thoughtful about what we buy, mindful about how we use, and careful about what we waste. And I think this purposeful strategy can help build more sustainable practices in our lives. Think about cleaning and washing dishes. We have sponges and scrubs that are plant-based or made with recycled content. That's our Scotch Brite Greener Clean. Or let's say you are mailing a gift to a loved one. We have an alternative to plastic bubble wrap. It's called Scotch Cushion Lock. It's 100% recycled and it's recyclable, so great alternative. Or if you want to simply write a reminder to yourself or to someone, you will use Post-it notes. Who doesn't love Post-it notes, Dan? We have Post-it recycled super sticky notes. They are made with 100% recycled paper.
As a corporate scientist and engineer, have you incorporated sustainable practices in your everyday life, at work, home, or even with your family?
Well, as a scientist and innovator at 3M, it is my job to reimagine what is possible. And in doing that, I believe it's important to constantly challenge ourselves, our thinking. So I often say to my teams, the most sustainable product ever made is the product never made. It's a message that, takes a while to sink in, but it forces us to think how we can solve a problem by creating an innovation that can have truly transformational impact.
Well, thanks for joining me, Jayshree. Where can we go for more information?
Yeah, we are very excited about all the solutions that we're working on at 3M. So to learn more about these solutions and how they're improving lives around the world and where we are focused on innovating next, please go to 3m.com/forward. 3m.com/forward.
Well, thanks for joining me this morning, Jayshree.
Thank you, Dan.
June is National Candy Month, and a recent survey from the National Confectioners Association revealed America's top treat for the summer. And here to discuss it is Carly Schildhaus, spokesperson for the National Confectioners Association. Carly, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me, and happy National Candy Month.
All right, Carly, can you reveal America's favorite summer treats and flavors?
Happy to do that. We crunched the numbers, we did the hard research so you don't have to, and we know Americans' top favorite flavors and treats for summer. For flavors, red fruits are really hot. People love strawberry, cherry, and watermelon. Those are the top three. And then in terms of favorite treats, coming in at number one, probably not a surprise, is chocolate. If you're like me and you love s'mores in the summer, you know that is an important part of summer. Second is gummy candies. When you think about all those red fruits, think about them in gummy form. People are loving them all summer long. Then the third one might come as a little bit of a surprise, but it's taffy, which is just such a classic boardwalk treat that people are loving all season long.
Okay, so what are some of the top trends coming out of the recent Sweets and Snacks Expo?
We just had the Sweets and Snacks Expo. It is truly the center of the candy and snack universe where all of the top innovation, the newest treats are coming to the market, as well as those classic nostalgic favorites all represented there. We saw a lot of trends coming out of the show. The first one is flavor mashups, so mixing different flavors together that you might not expect. We saw a lot of brand collaborations as well, so really popular brands and companies coming together to create something brand new. Just a couple of examples, Dr. Pepper Peeps and Cinnamon Toast Crunch Stuffed Puffs were really amazing to try.
So how are people wanting to incorporate candy in their summer plans this year?
I mean, every summer activity can be enhanced by chocolate and candy. So whether you're headed to a barbecue, to the pool, to the beach, on a road trip, to a Taylor Swift concert, wherever you're going, chocolate and candy can make it even sweeter.
All right, so where can we go for more information about all of this?
If you'd like tips for treating all summer long, visit nationalcandymonth.com, and then we'd love for you to join the conversation on social media with hashtag National Candy Month.
Well, thank you for joining me this morning there, Carly.
Thanks for having me, and again, happy National Candy Month.
All right, coming up a little later, all the cat fans out there, I know I'm a big cat fan. We're going to be talking about some cool things that you could get for your cat to help them out and make them feel a little better. And a man sits alone in the woods and documents it. And it sounds crazy. And we talk about it all right here on New Mexico Rising. You know, it's time for celebrations, and that's because it's graduation season and Father's Day is this weekend. And here with some gift ideas for dads and some grads is gifting expert Lindsay Roberts, a professional shopper and founder of thegiftinsider.com. Welcome to the show, Lindsay. How are you?
I'm great, Dan. It's great to be here. Thank you for having me.
No problem. So why does it seem to be a challenge to find a gift for some dads and some grads?
Dads and grads gifting season can definitely be a little tricky for people. So many dads seem to have it all or say that there's nothing that they want. So many grads are really starting with nothing, so it can be tough to figure out where to go. One thing we recommend is to really hone in on their hobbies, their interests, and their likes. That's a great way to go. If you want to go to the sentimental route, do something handmade. DIY gift idea is always a win with dads.
So how about a gift suggestion for making a great first impression?
For those stylish dads or grads in your life, we have Old Spice men's hairstyling products. So this is a really great way to help the special guy in your life achieve the look that he wants and that self-confidence that we all know great hair inspires in people. They have their Old Spice pomade, which we love. It's barbershop quality styler infused with beeswax. So it has that medium hold and no shine, which is a really cool look. And it has, you know, that clean, fresh scent that everybody loves. Available $9 online in most retailers, so it's a great and really affordable price point as well for both dads or for grads.
So what is a great way to celebrate with the dads?
Celebrate in style. We're all trying to celebrate this season. Stella Rosa's inaugural spirit. This is Stella Rosa Brandy. So this is a collection of handcrafted, fruit-flavored brandy made in northern Italy. It is perfect to sip or stir and offers 3 fruit-forward flavors. So it's a really elevated take on traditional brandy. It's gonna leave the dad in your life impressed. It has smooth, black, tropical passion, and honey peach flavors. So it's perfect on its own or to mix into those summer cocktails.
So what is a good tech gift for those dads and grads, for the techie heads?
We love smart home gifts for tech gifts for dads or for grads. This is the Ecobee Smart Thermostat Premium. So this is a perfect gift for a dad who's looking for that really simple home upgrade or for grads moving into their own place. So this is Ecobee's most advanced thermostat to date. It helps save energy and money with up to 26% savings on annual heating and cooling costs. So it's the only smart thermostat on the market with both an indoor air quality monitor, which we all need these days, and an embedded smart speaker that you can pair with your choice of Siri or Alexa. So this is really one of those gifts that pays for itself, and it's going to keep your home comfortable for years to come.
All right, do you have a top suggestion that every dad and grad, will just appreciate?
I love this one. This is another tech gift. This is from Garmin. So it is their Instinct 2 Solar. It is a purpose-built smartwatch designed for the rugged individualist in mind. So it is a solar charging GPS smartwatch. So it is tough enough to keep up with you, and it's really stylish, built to withstand any element. It's tech-driven, has unlimited battery life in certain models, which I think is so cool. And it has, Garmin's full suite of health and wellness features, their sleep score, VO2 max, and it also has Garmin Pay, so you can make payments on the go right from your watch.
That's really awesome. I kind of want one of those myself. Where can we go for more information, and how can we follow you on social media?
So you can go to tipsontv.com for everything we talked about here. You can check out my website, thegiftinsider.com, and also I'm at social media on @thegiftinsider.
Thank you very much, Lindsay. Yeah, thanks for hanging out with me this morning, Lindsay.
Thanks for having me. It was great chatting with you.
We'll talk to you soon. Thank you. All right, people with cats love their quirky and instinctive personalities. And joining us today outside of Mr. Halder Cats here today is Alex Johnson, an animal enrichment specialist for Purina, who is encouraging cat owners everywhere to become catadvocates. It's like advocates. That means taking time to engage in some positive interactions, play, to keep cats in very good shape, physically and mentally. And here's a fun fact. Alex has actually engineered many award-winning pet safety devices and the very first crash test dog, which is now housed at the Smithsonian National Museum of Natural History. Welcome to the show, Alex Johnson. How are you?
I'm great. Thank you for having me.
No problem. All right. First question I got for you is, what the heck is a catadvocate?
It's a great question. A catadvocate is someone who advocates for their cat's health and well-being, and they're really going to emphasize the daily happiness of their cat. So they're going to want to carve out moments throughout the day where they're engaging in quality time. And one of the best ways to spend that time is through play. And play can stimulate our cats mentally and physically, but also it can lower cortisol levels, which is closely associated to anxiety and stress. It can help influence brain development, but the most important thing for us as pet owners is it's going to help us with communication with our cats. The more we play with them, the more we're going to learn their cues and silent signals, and likewise, same to us.
All right, so what are some of the example of things that I shouldn't do with Halder cats here?
Yeah, so I'm sure you've seen a lot of cat trends and challenges on social media where they're asking you to provoke a reaction from your cat. Sometimes it can be positive reactions, which is great, but oftentimes they can be negative reactions that are triggered by getting your cat angry, frustrated, confused, scared. And this can be really detrimental to the relationship you have with your cat, and especially that trust that you've worked so hard to build with them. So we want to be really careful when we engage in these different challenges and trends, and be mindful that some of them aren't going to be the best for our cats. And one way to know that is to think, would you do this with a child? And it can have similar repercussions.
So how do you encourage interactive play with a cat? Because, sometimes they're not always so active and wanting to play with you.
Yeah, so I try to really encourage pet owners to carve out, as we mentioned earlier, quality time together, but really it's really about that undivided attention. And I sort of challenge pet owners to make it 15 minutes. So seek your cat out wherever they are in the home, and engage in interactive play with them during that 15 minutes. But we also have to be mindful of when we approach them. So are they already up and moving around, seeking you out? And if they're not, if they're sort of sleeping somewhere, but this is the only time that you have to engage with them, there's some simple, easy ways to get them motivated. And one of those is you could use Frisky's Playfuls, which is a treat that we've designed specifically to engage cats. They're shaped so that they can roll. They have irregular motion, which captivates our cats visually, and then they sense it, smell it, eat it. That gets them up and ready and hungry for more interaction.
All right, do you have any suggestions for positive play with our little furry friends?
Adding a treat can really be a fantastic way to elevate that engagement where we're triggering other senses, as I mentioned before. So two quick games that I can think of is with Frisky's Playfuls, using that treat. I often roll them into a series of objects that I've set up, and usually I select objects that make a little bit of noise, so that when my cat hits them, it makes a noise. He reacts to it, chases the treat, has to hunt and find it.
Okay, so where can we go for more information about Frisky Playfuls?
Yes, so you can go to purina.com/frisky/cat-treats.
Thank you for joining me this morning, Alex, and have a good day, hanging out
Thanks so
with
much
your
for your
cat.
time.
Yeah.
You too.
One thing that I would never, ever, 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 ever do is probably stay in my backyard for a weekend and try to survive that. Just imagine being stuck in the Saskatchewan forest with wild animals attacking you or trying to attack you and eat you and all that other good stuff for about $500,000. Would you be able to do that for $500,000? I know a lot of people say, yes, I think I could do that for $500,000 or a chance of $500,000. No, I don't think I could even last a week. Probably even a few hours. I'll drive by the first fast food restaurant and find myself tempted to go there instead of surviving for that $500,000 in cash. But there's one person that is here today to talk about his experience in trying to fight for that cash is Mikey Helton. How are you, Mikey? How are you, buddy?
Good. How are you today?
I'm doing fabulous. And I realized $500,000 in cash was up for grabs in the new season of Alone on History Channel. Can you tell me your experience on this?
Oh man, it was probably the most extreme survival experience I've ever had. Almost my whole life, I was hunting and fishing, gathering, trapping and tracking. Was taught all these skills at a very young age, and just kind of honed them as I grew up. And it's especially since the end of season 1, I have really pushed myself.
How do you get a non-survivor to be able to at least go for a little while?
The best thing I can say is start slow.
Okay.
Start learning different animal signs, different tracks, different trees. You don't have to know them all, just a handful to get you where you need to be. And then you can start learning more as you go. But just get outside, get your hands dirty. That's the best way to do it. There's only one way to learn, and that's to put it to practice.
When you're out there on your own, trying to survive, you're filming your own experience. What were some of the more harrowing experiences or moments that you were like, I don't know if I could continue this anymore? Or were you always just like, no, I just got work to do, just got to survive another few more days, and I think doing this will help me out? How were you on that?
Oh, well, as soon as they drop you off the boat, I don't know if I can do this. But no, there's a lot of times out there where you have to get out of your own head and push through to make it, one more minute, much less one more day.
Well, there you go. Mikey Helton, thank you for joining me this morning. You got to check out the History Channel's Alone, Season 10. It premieres on June 8th, right there on the History Channel. Thank you for joining me, Mikey.
Thank you.
And that is it for New Mexico Rising. I want to thank everybody for being part of the show. All you got to do is follow us on Instagram. That's New Mexico Rising, and chat with us and hang out with us and be cool with us. If you want to be part of the show, like I said before, just email me, newmexicorising@gmail.com, and talk about your business. I like independent small businesses, and I want to bring you on to hang out, and we can talk about them here. I also like to talk about events and play music from bands. So all the above. Send me your information, and I will bring you onto this show we call New Mexico Rising. And yeah, it's a special weekend. You're going to see me on a couple of stations this weekend, so check it out. It's Father's Day weekend. That's why we're doing it. Also, if you want a prize, I got a family 4-pack for you, your father, and 2 other people. Okay. It's a family 4-pack. You and 3 other people could go hang out. But what I'm asking for this week is you to email me and tell me your favorite Father's Day gift. All right? What did you get for your dads for Father's Day, or what is your favorite Father's Day gift if you are a dad and you got it? And if you are a dad, who's your favorite kid? You got to tell me that too, because that'll be funny next week. Until next week, that was New Mexico Rising.